Hello and welcome to Blytheberry Business News. Today we're talking about Central Asia Metals. Central Asia Metals PLC, listed on the AIM market in London, a ticker of CAML and a market capitalisation of around £411 million. I'm joined by Nigel Robinson and Gavin Ferrar. Nigel, you've been Chief Executive of Central Asia Metals since 2018, some 6 years. Today you've announced that on the 1st of October you'll be stepping down as Chief Executive. Why have you come to that decision?
Yes, it's an important decision for the company, and firstly I'd like to say it's been an honour and a privilege having been the CEO of Central Asia Metals for the past 6 and a bit years, and prior to that the CFO for 9 years, and something I'm particularly proud of. We've achieved a lot in that time. I'd like to say thank you certainly to Gavin and Louise, who've been supporting me over the last 6 years as fellow directors, and all of the team and all the board of directors as well, and also thanks to all of our shareholders who've been supportive and all our wider stakeholders across the whole company's group footprint effectively. And in that time, you know, we've achieved a lot, I think it's fair to say. I think I'm leaving the company in a very strong financial position. We have a very strong balance sheet. I think we've performed financially very well. And some of the achievements over the years, I mean, in particular, the integration of Sasa, integrating that from when we purchased it back in November 2017, so we've now owned it for 6 years, and the developments that we've invested in at Sasa to bring it into the 21st century and to develop the mining approach that we've got at Sasa to extend the life of that mine out to 2039. So very proud of those things. At Kounrad, as you know, we've owned Kounrad and operated Kounrad, having developed it from 2010, and that has run steadily over the past 5 or 6 years during my tenure as the CEO. So I'm very proud of that as well. The 2 strong operations that I leave, handing over to Gavin to become the CEO soon. And also our ESG credentials in the market. I think we've worked hard over that. I think we've got good credibility in the marketplace for that. And obviously, as many people know who follow us, we have got a challenge of growing the business on the business development side. I think we've done quite a bit over the past 12 months. We've invested in Aberdeen Minerals, 5 million, up to 5 million pounds, with investment in there in early stage exploration, as well as CAML. So we're making inroads and movements on the business development front to grow the business. So I think the time is now right for me to hand over to Gavin as the next CEO. And in terms of things that I'm particularly proud of within the group, it's the team. I think the people that we've actually developed over that period of time, myself, Nick and Howard, from growing the business. We've developed a really strong team. I think we've got a really good credibility in the marketplace for a company that delivers on its promises and acts with a lot of integrity and honesty. And I think also our financial performance. I mean, over the years that we've been spending dividends back, we've paid back $339 million in dividend. Very strong financial performance at both of our assets. And as I said before, I think I'm leaving in the company in a strong financial and operating position.
So 6 years of success. Gavin, let's come to you. You, until now, have been the CFO, the Chief Financial Officer of Central Asia Metals. As Nigel mentioned, you're now going to be succeeding him as Chief Executive. Congratulations. Could you give the viewers a bit of background about yourself? What were you doing before you joined CAML? What have you done while you've been at CAML?
Okay, sure. Well, I think the first thing I'd say, Tim, is I'm very grateful to the board and to Nigel, actually, for supporting me in this transition and making me, supporting me in the step up to CEO. I think, as Nigel said, the company is being left in very good shape. So I'm very fortunate that I'm inheriting something that's hopefully going to travel smoothly from here on in. In terms of my background, I think the key thing is I've sort of been in the mining industry pretty much my whole life. I grew up in sight of a head frame, got into mining by studying geology at university and took that all the way through to a postgraduate level. Then worked in industry for a number of years, mainly for Anglo American on projects in Africa and also in their new mining business development unit. Whereupon I sort of moved over to London and studied finance, got that to a sort of postgrad degree as well. Too much studying, I guess. But anyway, that was quite useful because I sort of started a career in London in investment banking, which gave me sort of fantastic capital markets experience, good experience of project evaluation and financings around acquisitions, around project development, all those sort of things, which will hopefully be very useful to CAML going forward.
Okay. I'll just come back to you because obviously Gavin's appointment to move to CEO is not the only announcement we've made today. Can you just walk the viewers through the other announcements that you've made?
Yeah, the other announcement associated with supporting Gavin as a CEO is for Louise Rathall to become the CFO. And let's just remind the viewers that these changes will take effect formally from the 30th of September of this year. So we're planning in advance of that. And Louise will take over as the CFO. She'll still be responsible for the business development side of the business as well as investor relations. And Louise is a great candidate for that. Both Gavin and Louise have been with the business quite some significant time now. Louise around about 9 years and Gavin over 10 years, I think. And so both of them have got an intimate knowledge of the business and provide very good skill set technically and commercially to help drive the business forward from this point. Louise is got a master's in mining geology, and she's also spent about 9 or 10 years in the kind of investment banking side of the business before she joined CAML. So a very good broad experience to help Gavin, and as you just heard, Gavin's got a very good experience to actually manage the business and drive the business forward.
Finally, coming back to Gavin, you're taking over a very exciting time for the company. Can you just give the viewers a quick overview of the operations, those who might not be so familiar with CAML? And then also, what can we be looking out for in terms of business development in the, the next 12 months or so?
Sure. Well, I think, most recently when we put our annual results out, we met all the production guidance. So copper, lead and zinc are the three major metals, and we produced those metals exactly as we targeted through the year. And so far this year, we're on track to sort of repeat the same trick, really. I think both Kounrad is operating really well. Sasa, in spite of all the challenges around the transition, which I'll talk about in a second, is also aiming to produce exactly the amount of metal that we plan to there. While I talk about that transition, we have a change in mining method coming up, and by sort of middle of second half this year, we'll have had the one plant, paste backfill plant we call it, operating very smoothly through the year. And by that point as well, we'd hope to have completed what we call a dry stack tailings plant and added tailings to an engineered landform in sort of early to mid H2 this year. Okay. On business development, we have two exciting things to look forward to over the next few weeks. One is we are starting our exploration program with CAML Exploration in Kazakhstan. That's for early stage copper deposits that we're looking for there. And I'm looking forward to some exciting results coming out of that. We also continue our look for longer term transformational projects, things much along the lines that we did with Sasa. That exercise is ongoing, and myself and Louise and Nigel are very engaged in that program at the moment and looking to sign something exciting in the very near future as well.
Great. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me today. That was Nigel Robinson and Gavin Ferrar of Central Asia Metals, updating us on the board changes taking place in the company. That's it for this edition of Blythe Ray Business News. Thanks for watching.